To start using Mitto Customer Portal, you need to have an account created for you. To create the account, talk with your account manager. When your account has been created, you will receive an email to create a password for your Customer Portal account. After you've created your password, you can proceed to dashboard.mitto.ch to log in. The first page upon logging in is the dashboard. We can see the traffic information for our accounts within a specified time range. You can change the time range in the right corner. The dashboard also displays total traffic, cost, delivery rates, and per status and country breakdowns. The Shortcuts tab enables easy navigation to start new campaigns. It is also possible to change the layout of the page by clicking the icon next to Time Range and Edit Layout. Here, you can disable or re-enable any information windows and click Save. On the left side of the page, we can see the menu with all the functionalities that we can use. To send messages, there are two options available: Campaigns and Quick Send. Let's first take a look at the Quick Send option. We can use this to send messages to one or to a few recipients. The first field, called Sender, represents the sender ID that the end users will see the messages coming from. To use a specific sender ID, keep in mind of its limitations, which are displayed here. Alphanumeric sender IDs can use up to 11 characters and numeric up to 16. Also, the sender ID might have to be registered depending on the countries you're sending the messages to. Talk with the Mitto account manager about all your sender ID requirements if you have any. Next, we need to enter the recipient number to whom we will be sending the messages to. You can add several numbers this way. Just press enter after each one. All number inputs must include the international country code. Next, we need to write the text of the message. On the right, you can see how the recipient will receive the message on their phone. And below is an indicator to show the message character count as well as the encoding. If any character is not a GSM character, it will be highlighted in red and the encoding will change to Unicode, reducing the maximum number of characters per message. You can use this feature to find and remove any unwanted Unicode characters. To finish, we just need to click Send. With the Quick Send functionality, we cannot choose any dynamic fields for each of the recipients. We cannot add large batches of numbers, and we cannot choose to schedule the messages to be sent at a different time. For all these features, we need to use campaigns. Before we start using a campaign, first we need to have a distribution list. So let's create one right now. The Distribution List tab is under the Contacts menu. Since this is a demo account, we can see some distribution lists have already been made in the past. To create a new one, click on the Create Distribution List in the top right corner. Write down the name of the list. Next, we need to download a sample here in order to have it correctly formatted when we add our own information. Open the downloaded example and enable editing. Here we can see 4 columns. The first column is where we will add our own phone numbers, and the other 3 columns are dynamic data that we want to change for each recipient. Let's delete the examples and enter some of our own data. You can add as many numbers as you want here. The only limitation is that the file must stay under 100 megabytes. When placing your own numbers, make sure they are just numbers with no additional characters in front of it, like plus or spaces between the numbers. Also, make sure that all of the numbers have country code. In placeholders 1, 2, and 3, I will add first name, last name, and country as an example. You must change the header names to reflect the information in columns. After we've added all the information we want, save the file and name it so you can easily find it. Now let's go back to Add Distribution List and click on Browse. Select and open the file we just saved. Click on the checkbox for The list has a header row and click Next. Now we need to make sure that the placeholders are defined appropriately and mark the first column as phone number. When you're done, click Finish. Your distribution list will now appear here, in the Distribution List tab with the status ready. It is possible to preview it, see information about it, or delete the list in this tab. We can now use it in a campaign. To do that, click on Create a Campaign. First, we need to name our campaign. Next, we need to enter the sender, just like we did with the quick send part. Now, let's add the distribution list we made. To do that, click on the Select Distribution List. On the right, you will see all of your distribution lists. You can select the one you just made. You can also search for the distribution list you need in case there are many lists available. Click Save and Next. Here we enter the text that we want to deliver to the recipients. Only this time we will add the placeholders like this. On the right side we can see the message preview, but now we have the option to scroll through the other recipients and make sure the fields are changing as they should. The final step is to either launch the campaign, which will send the message straight away, or to click on Schedule Time to pick a time in the future when we want the messages to be sent. The time here is based on your local computer time. Alternatively, we can save the campaign and get back to edit or send it later. With statistics and message history, we are able to see reports and details for all messages that are sent through QuickSend, campaigns, or even through an API. The Statistics tab shows reports for groups of messages depending on the filters we chose. We filter by date and time in the top left, or by account, country, network, and network code in the top right. The Group By option enables us to choose which attributes to display. All of these reports can also be exported as an Excel. To get more details for each of the messages that were sent, we need to use the Message History tab. Message History shows all of the callback details for each message in the time period we select, the most important being delivery status. We can also filter and group these. Now that we went through all of the basic functions, let's see how we can add templates, control traffic accounts and users, and enable verified SMS. First, let's see how we can create templates. Click on Templates under the SMS tab and go to Create Template. Name the template and add a message that we want to use in campaigns later. It is possible to also include the predefined placeholders. We just need to write the column names in brackets, like this. The placeholder names are case sensitive. Make sure that the encoding is as desired and press Save. In the list you can view all of your templates, edit them or delete them. With this template created, we can go to a campaign and instead of writing the text and adding placeholders, just select the desired template. Now let's see how we control users and account settings. To do this, click on the icon or your email on top right corner and select Users. Here we can see all current users. To add a new user, click on Invite User. Enter their name and email address. Users can have many permissions. You can either select a predefined permission template, or you can customize which parts of the customer portal the user has access to by manually selecting the fields below. And finally, under Traffic Account, select which account will they be able to use by selecting a check mark next to them. In the active accounts, you will see both customer portal accounts and API accounts. First user created for an account will always be an administrator. When you're done, click Save. The new user will receive an email to create a new password, and they will be able to log in and start using the portal for the accounts you've chosen for them. If they've successfully created a new password, they will be shown as active under status. In case they've had some problems with receiving an email, you can send another email to them by clicking on Reinvite. At any point in time under Action, you can also edit their details, make them inactive, or delete them. Now that we've created a user, let's take a look at the account settings. Under General, you can change your username, add a phone number, add a profile image, and change the language. Under SMS, you can enable or disable Unicode detection and default sender ID. You can change your password under Password. If you forgot your old password, you can contact Mitto support or your account manager to reset it for you. And in the 2FA tab, you can enable 2FA to access your account. But you will first need to provide a phone number under General. Traffic Accounts tab under SMS shows all of our available accounts, including the API accounts. Under Action, we can edit the display name so we can more easily differentiate between each account since the account name is randomly generated when an account is created by Mitto. If you want to add additional traffic accounts, talk with your Mitto account manager. The Verified SMS tab under SMS enables you to apply for a Google verification of your brand. All Android users will be able to see a verified sender badge, your logo, and your links will have a preview. To enable this feature, you have to fill in the form with all the information and click Apply. Following this, in the next few days you will receive emails from Google to finish the registration and the setup will be complete for that sender ID. Make sure to check the coverage of this feature at the bottom of the product page. This concludes this guide. If you have any additional questions, please talk with your Mitto account manager. Thank you for your time.